Hi enjoyers, today we're going to add some animations to our character. Before we created a lot of different type of level design stuff, lighting, building, map and so on. Now time to create some fancy stuff, and I'm going to add some videos about character, about shooting and so on. And first step is creating our character animation. For that purpose I need to find out 3 animations, which is not very easy to do, I would say. But we have actually this animation starter pack, which is Epic Games related content, and it is free to use. So use this one. If you have your animation, you can use your animation. I'm going to use free animation, and you can see this is a rifle animation. Also there is a pistol animation, which is cool. So yeah, add this to the project. And the results you can see right now here. If you want to get my completed projects and created assets, you can subscribe to my Patreon. There you can find some assets and projects from my videos. I would appreciate any support. I've already added that one, and I changed skeleton. It is not hard to do as well. You can just click on the animation, right click here, and here you can find replace skeleton and replace it with your character's skeleton. You can do this only if your character is using the same type of skeleton as Unreal Engine. This character using skeleton of Unreal Engine 4. This Unreal Engine 4 skeleton. And if so, I can actually just click on every animation here, for example like this, remove this stuff, right click here and replace skeleton and choose my skeleton, and it works. If not, you can use a thing here, this animation, and here you can find retargeting, IK rig and IK retargeter, and you need both to do that. If you want, I can create a separate video about that, where I can tell you how to do retargeting. But for now we're going just to replace, because our skeletons match to each other. Alright, here we actually have blend spaces, and you can open them and check out how it looks like. The important part here is how to set up this stuff by yourself. I'm going to tell you how to do that. So first of all, you need to, in the horizontal axis, name direction. This is direction of your movement, and you need minimal and maximal is minus 180 and 180 is maximal. Vertical axis is speed. This is our movement speed. Minimum x value is 0 and maximum is here 270. You can manually change this one. This is not blocked or limited somehow. This is not, you can change this one. Okay, here you can see this is minus 180. Minus 180, it is just a spine here. So it is movement to this point. This is a backward movement. This is minus 90. Minus 90 is here. This is left movement. This is 0, which means we move just here. This is a forward. 90 is here, and 180 is again here. This is our ways with degree, and this is the same exactly, but here you can see this is speed 0 and direction also 0, which means this is idling. But you can see this is not an idle animation, this is jog forward still. This is because in the default animation blueprint here you can see idle is just a separate state. We're going to create our own animation blueprint. Let's do that. Player in blueprint, and here animation blueprint. Here you must find your skeleton of character, full body, this one. This is my character. Okay, ABP, player, open, and here let's go to the event graph. You can see this update animation. This is event tick. I'm going to use this one, and first of all we need to use begin animation blueprint begin play. and this is try to get power owner. So this animation blueprint will try to find who uses this blueprint. So I'm going to cast to player because we know this blueprint who will use this animation blueprint. And here as blueprint player we can promote variable. I'm going to name this just blueprint player. Okay, now compile and save. This is our value. Let's add it here and put here is valid because we need to use this node. Player can be dead, and when player is dead this is not valid anymore. So when it is not valid, let's add delay. We'll change this later, but not today, because we need actually create death logic. We don't have that for now. Okay, now for isValid we need to calculate some stuff. We need to calculate movement speed and movement direction. We already set up here our movement, and we have this scale value, so here we need just to add that stuff. So I'm going to use get character movement. It is a value, so you can scroll down and find this get character movement. Okay, here we have this stuff which called get velocity, which is a vector, so you can find it also in the bottom. And this is our actual speed, but we need to know how much, so I'm going to use get actual vector length. This one. This is our speed. So we already can create our variable which called movement speed. And this is float. Okay, compile and save. And duplicate this one. Or create another one and call movement direction. This is also float. Compile and save. And let's add both set and this one also set. And connect them to isValid. And this one to here. Alright, now we have movement speed, we can connect it here. And now we need our direction. I'm going to use from here get rotation. We need rotation of our character, so I'm going to use actor. Get actor rotation, this is rotation of our character. Alright. We can actually right click here and call direction. And finds its calculated direction. Here you can see velocity, this is velocity, you can see it clearly connected here. And base rotation is our rotation of actor. And this is our movement direction. You can see this is not hard to do. We already have our parameters. Let's go to the animation graph, create here state machine. State machine is the place where you can adjust all animations. And let's call this locomotion. And here we can add cache. So this is just for convenience because you can't duplicate locomotions, but you can duplicate cache. So you can use this stuff multiple times. And you can't do that with state machine, because let's try duplicate. You can see locomotion 1. So yeah, and you can just duplicate as much as you want this cache. Alright, connect this one to here. Let's set up our locomotion. First one is state. Let's add some state, and first one is just standing idle. Alright, let's add here jogging. This is another state. Jogging. Okay, now we need to add one other arrow to here, and this is how standing idle go to the jogging and jogging go to the standing idle. And go to the standing idle, let's add idle animation. I'm going to use first of all this idle refill heap. This is standard animation, connect it here and find this loop animation and check this, because we need to create loop for idling. And for jogging we can use already this jogging and connect it here. You can see direction and speed. We have this, so movement speed is our speed and movement direction is our direction. Connect them both, compile and save. Now we need to create here some conditions. First of all, we need here our movement speed and we need to compare it to 0. So this is a greater than, let's make it 0.01 like this and connect it here. Okay, compile and save. Let's go to the next one. This is condition for stopping movement. So movement speed must be, as you can see, less than equal to 0. And connect it here. Okay, compile and save. Now our character can move. Let's check it out, but firstly we need to add that animation. Click on the mesh. Here you can see use animation blueprint. Animation class is none. Change it to ABP player. Compile and save. You can see our character already idling. Let's start here, for example. Okay, this is our character. You can see I'm already moving and it looks smooth and properly. Let's add another stuff. Let's add crouching. Let's go to the inputs, duplicate this jumping. You can create also by yourself new input, but I'm going to duplicate because it is faster. Let's go to the IMC player. We need to create here another mapping, and this one is crouch. And I'm going to use C letter as button for crouching. Okay, go to the BP player, event graph. Here we need to add crouch button, and here you can find out what you want more. You can use triggered and flip-flop. If you want, use crouching button as a trigger, so you can just switch crouching or remove crouching and walk as usual. And also you can use this as a button that you must hold to use crouching. And I'm going to use the second version. I'm going to use this holding button. But if you want trigger, you can use this flip-flop and connect this to crouch and uncrouch like this. Crouch and uncrouch. And this is proper way to creating crouching, because you can see a lot of content creators on the YouTube and some courses, they use this crouching wrong. They tell you that you can just trigger, create a boolean, and that boolean calls is crouching, and they use it as trigger for crouching. But it is wrong, because when you don't use this crouch, your character actually still standing and your mesh looks like it crouching, but in reality this is only visual changes. And when you use crouch function, your character actually crouching. And let me show you something. Here you can see half size of crouched half height. You can see 40 and 90. This is your standard height, 90. This is crouched height, 40. And when you don't use crouch function, your character actually is 90. And when you try to pass some obstacles, you can't. For example, imagine here some mesh and player comes, and when he tries to crouch it, he can't, because character is 90 still. And when you use this crouch, your character become 40 height and you can pass through. This is the difference, so you must use this crouch. And also you don't need booleans, because in the Unreal Engine you already have the boolean, it calls is crouching. Alright, let's back to our plan. I'm going to connect triggered here and complete it here. Okay, compile and save. Also we need to here add some stuff. We need to go and type here crouch. You can find out here can't crouch, and you must check this. Let's go to our animation blueprint, event graph, and here we can from character movement add is crouching. You can see this is just a boolean as we want, and here we need to create our boolean. I'm going to promote this to variable and call this crouching and connect this to here. Alright, compile and save. Locomotion, here we need to add another state, and this is our crouching idle. Okay, and here we can add another state, and this is crouching movement like this. Okay, this must be here and this must be here as well. Okay, first of all, this condition must be our boolean. When our character pressed crouching, player must become crouched. And here we also call crouching and use not boolean for this part and connect it here. Okay, now our character is able to crouch, but we don't have animation of crouching, so let's add animation for crouching. Crouch idle. And we have this iron sight and without iron sight. Let's use this one. Also check out loop. Okay, and then for this part we need to add the same is this part, so I'm going to Control C and Control V here. Nothing new. Alright, and for this part we need to use this. Alright, and this is also created. And crouching movement we can use here blend space of crouch walk and connect it here. And direction movement speed we already have it. And speed. Okay, now compile and save. Let's try out. Okay, this is our character. I'm going to press now C. And my character walking crouched. And when I stop pressing, my character stand up. And you can see camera also goes down because our character becomes smaller. Let's limit some stuff because our character can move and then press crouching. So we need to create here also our conditions. So I'm going to use this one. First of all, crouching movement. Here we need to add this part, connected here, and also we need here add crouching, and this must be simultaneously. So this is, and this one must be both checked. Okay, compound save, and for this one we need to use this, not this part, wait. We need to use the same stuff and connect it here, and here we need to use not boolean. Okay, compile and save. So let's try out again. Now it works properly. Let's go to the player blueprint, click on camera and add some camera lag. You can add it actually in the spring arm, if I remember correctly. Enable camera lag, so you can remove this little bit. Okay, and compile and save. This is just for conveniency and for good looking, because now you can see it's much smoother. Our character looks okay. We need weapon because animation looks weird without it. But for now I think this is enough. I hope you enjoy. If so, hit the like button, share, comments, subscribe and enjoy. See ya!